Hey everyone, so if you've completed your deck of cards center, then it's time to move on. Hi everyone, Cristin here, and we are continuing with our March Cuties table topper. So if you completed your center, the deck of cards with all the pretty green fabrics, then it's time to move on. So the next part is our inner borders. So couple things before we start. I am visiting my daughter's house, and there are 6 children here, all under the age of 10. So if somebody starts screaming, it's a normal occurrence here. A little chaotic, but I'm just warning you. All right, so the inner borders are super easy. We did them the exact same for February. We're just going to change out the quilting design. So grab your inner borders packet, and it is the yellow, the golden yellow silky solid, and our batting. That's all we have for today. So I only brought a couple of hoops with me. I did bring my machine, so I don't recall what we used last time. I'll probably actually even just copy and paste from last month's tutorial and add in the new information as far as the quilting design. So really simple. So just as usual, like I've always said, I recommend cutting these a little bit longer than what is in the guide and then cutting it down at assembly. I think that is just gives you a little bit of wiggle room in case there could be, the stitching could pull in, whatever your 1/4 inch seam allowance might be off just a bit, whatever the case may be. I think it's best to cut them longer and to not stress over it. And then once you get to assembly, you just cut it down. Super easy. So in the book, like I said, it is this golden silky solid. I did back them with Fusible stabilizer for sure. And then we have our batting. So there's A and B, so the shorter side and the longer side. And if you do from the book, it says 2 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 10.5. I did mine at 2 pieces of 1 3/4 by 12. All right, so 1.5 inches longer. That's what I did for the 2 shorter sides. So 1 3/4 by 12, 2 of those. And then the other 2, it said, again, backed with Fusible stabilizer. And in the book, it says 1 3/4 by 13. I did mine 1 3/4 by 15. So 2 inches longer, just to give yourself a little wiggle room. Do you, whatever works for you. But I learned my lesson on that. I learned it the hard way. I got, I think it was on Cup of Cheer, on one of my big quilts. I did it to the size in the directions, and it was a little short, and I had to actually fix it, and it was not fun. So I always recommend cutting them a little bit bigger. So again, for the longer set, this is the B set of the inner borders. I'm doing 1 3/4 by 15. All right, and then for your batting, if you're going to do it the way that I do it, and I've shown it in all of these videos, I like to attach my batting on with a glue stick. You can use that sticky spray. I'm not personally a fan of the sticky spray, so I like the glue stick, and it's purple and it disappears. And I'll add a link here so that you can buy your own glue sticks if you choose. Amazon delivery is very fast, and it's just so easy, especially if you're using project batting. So the project batting, it's just such the perfect loft and so easy to work with that you can put that glue stick on here and it doesn't make a mess, and it's just so easy. If you're using the other battings, I would recommend using the glue stick on the border, the fabric, rather than on your batting, because it can get messy. But it works great for the Kimberbell batting. So for your batting, you want to cut your batting the exact size that we're going to need, so that it's not in our seam allowance, that 1/4 inch seam allowance when we put it all together. We want our batting to be cut exact. All right. So for the batting, let me turn to that page. Sorry, I wasn't prepared. All right, so for the batting on the inner borders, I cut mine to 1 1/4 by 10 for the first set, that's set A, the shorter side, 1 1/4 by 10 for 2 of the pieces. All right, 1 1/4 by 10. And then for the longer 2, you're going to want those to be 1 1/4 by 12 1/2. 1 1/4 by 12 1/2, 2 pieces. All right. So 2 pieces and 2 pieces, a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, A and B. And that will work really great. And I will show you step by step. We'll glue it on and we'll do our quilting. So for the quilting, back to that other page now. There it is. Yep. Nope, that's not it. My mistake. Sorry. All right. All right. For the inner borders, we are going to use border chevron in a 1-inch design. It's KDQ 150. That's the number for all of them. But it is border chevron 1 inch. That's what we're going to do on the inner borders. And since we've got it on this yellow silky solid or golden silky solid, we'll be able to see it really well. That will be nice. I think that will be really cute. So that's all we're doing for today. I will show you, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to copy and paste from last month's video for the embrilliance part of it. If you're not using embrilliance, or if you're not using embroidery software and you're just using your machine, or you're doing one at a time, however, you know, you do you, whatever works for you. I'm going to do my best to merge them all into one hooping, depending on which hoop I use, because I don't have them all here with me. But that's my plan, is to try and get it all into as few hoopings as possible. I think we can do them in one, pretty sure. Should be able to do one. We'll see. Anyway, if we do the 14, I think that's probably what we used last month. But anyway, I will check and I'll go over it step by step with you. So inner borders today. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer now and almost forgot my microphone. Sorry about that. So we are going to use embroidery software to very easily merge our 4 quilting strips together. If you have a hoop that will work for that, should actually, even a 5x7 would work for it. So let's go ahead and give that a try. So I'm going to open Embrilliance Essentials. That's the embroidery software that I use. My eyes are like bugging out. That light on my ring light for my videos is blinding. All right, so down here at the bottom, if you can see, it says I'm on my 9.5 by 9.5 hoop, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. So go up here, excuse my phone, to Preferences, the Preferences folder, and my friend Mary got a dog today, so I'm getting messages about her new cute little dog. All right, sorry about that. So Preferences folder, and then you're going to choose the hoop size you want. I'm going to do my 9x14. Click on that and say okay. And then you can see we can't see the top or the bottom of our hoop. So I'm going to go up to this compass and click the H button that zooms in just to the hoop so that we can see all of it, because we want to make sure not to go over those lines. All right, so we are going to bring in our quilting design for the inner borders. So if we go here to this merge stitch file, click on that, and then I have mine on my desktop, so navigate to where you have your quilting files. And let's see, Cuties bundle, Kimberbell quilting. And right there, border, chevron, and square. So the chevron is what we are looking for. That's what we're going to use for the inner borders. And so when you click on that, you don't have to double click on it. You just click on it one time and you can see it populates over here with all the designs. So as I mentioned, I am going to do the 1x14. There is a 1x10, a 1x12, 1x14, and a 1x7. So you can choose whatever will work for your hoop size. I'm going to do the larger one. Even though we don't need on two of our quilting strips, we actually don't need quite that long, but it's easier to just do them all the same length. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to double click on the 1x14. It goes to the center, and I'm going to go ahead and move it over to the left, far to the left. All right, and then I'm going to do something a little bit different. So I am going to take out steps 1 and 2. Actually, I'm not going to, because then I'll forget to mention it on the tutorial, but you can take out steps 1 and 2. So you would just click on this and click the delete button on your keyboard, for 1 and 2, because we're not going to use those if you're going to add your batting directly onto the fabric strips like I'm going to. So go ahead and delete those. I'm going to just quickly change the color since there's another blue right there. I'm going to change this first one to dark aqua. You shouldn't need to do that if you're taking away steps 1 and 2. So you can see I have dark aqua. That's our replacement for the batting. Here come my dogs. Hello, hello. Sorry. I'm very excited, I know. All right, and then default 2 is the tack down of our batting, and number 3 is the placement for the main fabric. That's a different, since I changed the first one, so it won't group together. And then number 4, this is a border tack down, and you can see it's light orange instead of the regular orange, so we don't need to worry about that grouping. And then the turquoise for the actual quilting design. So we have that already. So once you have it ready, either with your 1 and 2 deleted, or if you just change the color in number 1, that will work. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, and I'm going to click on my keyboard and say Control-C to copy, and then Control-V to paste. And you can see that now we have two designs. So the first one right here and the second one right here. So it goes right on top of the first one, so it doesn't look like it's there, but it is. So I'm going to go ahead and take it, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to purposely make it a little bit wonky just to show you how to do an align and distribute if you haven't tried that yet in Embrilliance Essentials. So there's our second one. Now we can just hit Control-V to paste a third one. It again goes on top of that first one. So I'm going to go ahead and move it down here. It's all wonky. And then another Control-V because we want 4 of these. All right, and I'm going to just move it all the way over to the right. All right, so now we have 4 of them. I'm going to close this up just so you can see all 4 easily. See, there's 4 different strips of quilting right there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, before I do a color sort, I want to do that align and distribute. I always forget how to do it, so I'll have to think about it. I think we have to highlight all of them to tell it what to align and distribute, so I'm going to go ahead and click down below these and then scroll up so that all 4 designs are highlighted. And then I'm going to go to Utility and then Align and Distribute. And I think it is left, center, I think we just do center. I have to remember, sorry, I always forget about it, but I'm going to try that first. I'm on the Align tab and I'm going to say Apply, and that worked. Perfect, great. All right, that was easy. So that aligned them all so that now that they are all centered, but notice I've got a little bit of space between this one, a little bit here, and a lot here, so that we can use that Distribute tab right here. Click on that and we have center and center highlighted, and then click Apply. And see how it moved those 2, and now they are all evenly distributed. So there's a regular amount of space between each of these. So that's perfect. So we have those all aligned and distributed. Now we want to do that color sort because my head is covering. Let's see, we have 20 color steps right here. There's 20 color steps right now. So if we go to Utility Color Sort, and just like I've mentioned in other videos, make sure that you have the same information here. So your RHS pre-sort is not clicked on, force applique position and material is not clicked on, and then the tolerance is at 0. All right, somebody asked if I was talking about my own personal tolerance level, and it is not. It is on Embrilliance Essentials. The tolerance is at 0, okay? So that will make it so that when I'm doing this and showing you certain aspects, if you've got the same settings, then you'll get the same result. Okay, so we are going to click on New View. It says it reduced it by 15, so that should be perfect, but let's go ahead and check it to make sure. We currently have Untitled 1. It will open another tab. So click on New View, and there's our second tab. So if you click on the first one, it's got those 4 designs, and if there's anything that's not right on the new tab, then you can always go back to this other one. So that will be perfect. So right here on Untitled 2, now it's all broken down into 1 design. Instead of 4 designs, there's 1. So let's just click on each of the parts to make sure it did what we think it should do. So the first one is that placement for the batting. And like I said, you don't need this one. If you're going to add the batting to your strip like I'm going to, you can delete this one. I like to leave it in so I remember to tell people on the tutorial to bypass it if they haven't already done it this way. All right, so then the second one is the tack down for the batting, and again, you don't need this one. It's up to you. And then the third one is the placement for the fabric strips. Now this one's really important. We want to be able to see on the stabilizer exactly where to line up these strips. So that's perfect. And then the fourth one is the tack down. You can see that it's just on the left and right side. It's not on the top. That's why they have it as a light orange instead of a regular orange. So that all grouped perfectly. And then the last one is the quilting design. They call it chevron, but it's not the regular chevron. It's a special chevron. Did you notice that? Because I have a couple of chevron quilting designs from Kimberbell, and this is different. So this is a fun border chevron. So that's fun. All right, so this is all perfect. So we're going to go ahead and do a file, save, stitch, file as, and then I am going to bring it, let's see, I'm currently in my embroidery designs. I want to be in the quilting designs. So I'm going to go to my folder, quilting bundle right there, embroidery files, Pez, and then this was a border chevron. So in here, and again, you could save this to your desktop. You could save it however you want. I like to save it in the folder that has the other of that same design so that I can use it in the future. So I'm going to say 1x14 chevron, and I'm going to say quad because there's 4 of them. That reminds me, you could also say times 4, whatever works for you. So I'm going to say save, and of course my machine is not on. I never remembered to turn it on before this, but if you have a machine that you can send it to, then you can go to Utility, Send to Solaris XP1, and it will tell you File Sent to Machine. It's all perfect. So that was super duper easy. Today is a very easy day. So let's go ahead and get started making our inner board. And my shirt today is that My favorite color is Sparkle. Isn't this fun? A bunch of people in our group made this. It is a really fun shirt. So you can use heat transfer vinyl. You can use Kimberbell vinyl because it is washable. Embroidery vinyl. There are some vinyls that you cannot use if you're doing this glitter vinyl. Some of them will peel right off, and probably if it's heat transfer vinyl, you obviously want to make sure to iron it, cover it the whole bit. But anyway, fun design. It's from Bows and Clothes. I will add the information under this video if you choose to make your own sparkle shirt. And as always, I want to hear about your goal. I want to hear how you're doing with your goal. My daughter's got a treadmill here. It's basically the same one as I have at home. So I did that last night. I got a great couple of workouts. One of them was in Slovenia. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But I think for this week that my goal is going to be more about like calmness. Like I mentioned, there's always someone screaming here, like always. My daughter is a saint, 6 children under the age of 10, and I have 2 children and they're 10 years apart. It's a whole different world for me here, and I'm just soaking up the grandkids and absolutely loving it, but it's also chaos.